Hi, all. Welcome to another session of International Business. And today we would be discussing national and foreign business environment. First of all, we have to understand what is business environment, right? So, understanding the environment within which the business has to operate is very important for running a business unit successfully at any place. Why? Because the environmental factors influence almost every aspect of business. So, be it nature, its location, the prices of the products, the distribution system, or the personal policies. So it is very important to learn about the various components of business environment and what it consists of. It consists of the economic aspect, social cultural aspects, political framework, legal aspects, and the technological aspects these days. So we should actually in this presentation we would understand the concept of business environment, its nature, its various components. Let's come to what is business environment. So basically business environment are the external forces, factors, and institutions that are beyond the control of business, and they affect the functioning of a business enterprise. So it may include customers, competitors, suppliers, government, and the social, political, legal, and technological factors, like I have told you before. While some of these factors or forces may have direct influence over the business firm, others may operate very indirectly. So, business environment is basically the total surroundings which have a direct or indirect bearing on the functioning of a business. So it is kind of a set of external factors, you can say, like I have enumerated, which are uncontrollable in nature and they affect the business decisions of the firm, right? So if we see, like I have told you up till now, business environment, it refers to those aspects of surroundings of business enterprise which affect or influence its operations and determine its effectiveness. So one of the management leaders, Andrews, he has already given the definition of business environment, saying that the environment of a company as the pattern of all external influences that affects its life and development. Keith Davis also has observed that business environment is the aggregate of all conditions, events, and influences that surround and affect it. So, business environment is always changing, and of course, it is uncertain. Why? Because it is said that the business environment is the sum of all the factors outside the control of management of a company. So, the factors which are constantly changing, and they carry with them both opportunities as well as risks and uncertainties, which can make or completely mar the future of the business. Now, some of the components of business environment. First ones relates to internal environment like financial capability, marketing capability, operations capability, personal, that is human resource capability, and then general management capability. Then external environment has micro environment and macro environment. Additionally, we'll also learn in the later presentations about the different components like economic, technological, social, demographic, political, and global environment. First, let's come to internal environment. It refers to all the factors within an organization which affects its functioning. So these factors are generally regarded as controllable. An organization can choose to alter or modify such factors. What are some of the important internal factors? First is financial capability. What is financial capability? Factors, they relate to the availability, usage, and management of funds, and all allied aspects that have a bearing on an organization's capacity and its ability to implement its strategies. Some of the important factors which influence the financial capability of an organization are: one, Factors related to the sources of funds like capital structure, procurement of capital, financial pattern, working capital availability, borrowings, capital and credit availability, reserves and surplus, and relationship with the banks and financial institutions. The factors related to uses of funds such as capital investment, fixed assets acquisition, current assets, loans and advances, dividend distribution, and relationship with the shareholders. Also, the factors related to management of funds like financial accounting and budgeting, management control system, state of financial health, cash, inflation, credit, return and risk management, cost reduction, and control and tax planning, and simple control. So all these things comes under the financial capability. Marketing capability. What is marketing capability? Marketing capability factors, they relate to the pricing, promotion, and distribution of products or services, and all the elite aspects that have a bearing on an organization's capacity and ability to implement its strategies. Now, the important factors which influence this marketing capability of an organization are product related factors like variety, differentiation, mixed quality, positioning, packaging, etc. And then we have price related factors like pricing objectives, policies, changes, protection advantages, etc. Then you have promotion related factors like what kind of tools are you using for promotion, what are the tools for sales promotion, how are you advertising, and what are the public relations, what kind of public relations do you have. Then, integrative and systematic factors are also considered. Something like marketing mix, what kind of distribution system you have, how strong it is, what is your market standing in regards to your product, then what kind of image your company has, what kind of marketing organization you carry, what is the marketing system you're possessing, what kind of marketing management you're doing, and how good are your information systems. All this shows your marketing capabilities. Then operations capability, that is potential of your operations. Operations capability factors, they relate to the production of products or services, use of material resources, and all allied aspects that have a bearing on organization's capacity and ability to implement its strategies. Now, some of the important factors which influence operations capability of an organization that can be seen as the factors related to the production system like capacity, location, layout, service, design, the kind of work systems, then degree of automation, extent of vertical integration. Then there are factors related to the operation and control systems like aggregate production planning, material supply, inventory, cost and quality control, maintenance system, what kind of procedures you are implementing. Then there are factors related to research and development system, R&D, like personal facilities, what are the human resource facilities you are possessing, product development, how much potential you have to develop a product, how you've been patenting it right, then a level of technology you're using, or technical collaborations and supports you can get. All this comes into your operations potential or capacity. Then personal capability. What is that? Human resource capability. Personal capability factors relate to the existence and use of human resources and skills and all allied aspects that have a bearing on organization's capability and capacity to implement its strategies. Now, some of the important factors which influence the personal capability of an organization are as follows. The first is factors related to personal system like system for manpower, planning, selection, development, compensation, communication, appraisal, then position of personal department within the organization, then procedures, standards. All these things show your human resource potential. Then there can be certain factors related to organization and employee characteristics like corporate image, quality of managers, staff and workers, perception about the image of organization as an employer, availability of developmental opportunities for employees, then working conditions. Then you have factors related to industrial relations like union management relationship. How good is the management union relationship in your organization? Are there anything like collective bargaining you guys possess? What are the safety, welfare and security measures your company is taking? Are the employees satisfied? What is the matrix, or what is the yardstick you adopt for employee satisfaction measures? And is the employee morale, you boost that morale, or is it high? So all these leads to your personal capability. And then we have general management capability. So management is also an asset to a company, and hence general management capabilities also comes into your potential of the organization. General management capability relates to the integration, coordination, direction of the functional capabilities towards common goals, and all allied aspects that have a bearing on an organization's ability to implement its strategies. Now, some of the important factors which influence the general management capability of an organization can be alienated as first is the factors related to general management system. They're like strategic management system, what kind of processes they are related to your mission or not, the purpose and objective setting is clear or not, what kind of strategy formulation and implementation machinery your company has, the what is the evaluation system for strategies, what kind of management information system you have. Then the corporate planning system also has a bearing on your success. What are the reward and incentive system for top managers? Are they highly motivated, or you need to reassess their incentives? So and then you have another factors related to general managers like orientation. What kind of orientation do they have? Do they take are they risk takers, or they have a social orientation? And then risk propensity, how much is the risk propensity of the management, top management is? What are the values and norms they have? The personal goals, competence, capacity for work. So what kind of track record they have, and then a balance of functional experiences. So do they have that experience of all the functional areas? Do they understand that well? And values and norms actually have a bearing on your company's future, because the way the top management perceives the environment and they react to the environment, it has a lot of bearing on the success of the organization. And we come to external environment. After the internal environment, there is external environment. External environment consists of all factors which provide opportunities or pose threats to an organization. In a wider term, we can say that external environment encompasses a variety of factors like international, national, and local economy. So, social changes, demographic variables, political systems, technology, attitude towards business, energy sources, raw materials, and other resources, and many other macro level factors make up the external environment. Now, we could designate such wide perception of environment as a general environment. All organizations in some way or the other are concerned about the general environment, but the immediate concerns of any organization are confined just to a part of general environment, which could be termed as a highly relevant environment, and enables the organization to focus its attention on those factors which are intimately related to its mission, purpose, objects, and strategies. Now, depending upon its perception of the relevant environment, an organization takes into account those influences in its surroundings which have an immediate impact on its strategic management process. The first is microenvironment. So, micro external factors have an important effect on business operations of a firm. But all micro factors may not have the same kind of impact on all firms in the industry. Now, for example, the suppliers, an important element of micro level environment, are often willing to provide the materials at a relatively lower price to big business firms because they are getting bulk orders. So they do not have the same attitude towards relatively small business firms which have got a lesser requirements. So micro environment of the business environment, there can be different micro environments, and they are: one, customer. The prime task for any business is to attract and retain customers. Now, this is to ensure its long term profitability and existence in the market. It therefore follows that the need and the desire of the customer should be monitored minutely to ensure customer delight, which will lead to the firm having an increasing number of loyal customers. The second is changing tastes and preferences of the customers, and they should not be observed as they happen, but you got to focus them before and take necessary steps and actions and corrections, which in your product or service or profile of the company. Once their tastes and preferences have changed and then you're changing your product, doesn't make sense, right? Customers are the backbone of a company and the very reason for company's existence, and hence they cannot be taken lightly. Then comes the product. The product factors such as demand, image, features, utility, function, design, the life cycle of the product, price of the product, promotion strategies, how would you distribute it, how would you differentiate your product, what are the substitutes that are available in the market, the services, after services also. Everything is an intimate part of the business environment. So the product or service features are the key to attract and retain customers, and it has to be taken seriously. Then marketing intermediary. So this includes all those who facilitate distribution of goods from the centers of production to the various centers of consumption. Now these are the middlemen who form part of the distribution channel and those who help reach the product service to the ultimate consumer. They can be a few or many in number depending on the length of the distribution chain and the type of distribution system that the company adopts. If this chain is hassle free and functions without many hurdles, it eventually is going to help the organization, right? Then we have competitors, very important. The world has become a global market and there exists tremendous competition in each and every area. There are other business entities that manufacture similar products and compete with the company for market share and turnover. These have to be managed well, and market intelligence is required to find out about their future plans. These can play a big role, a major role in making or destroying the fortunes of any company. So, competitors, you have to take the competitors in your stride, or you should know about them, what your competitor's strategy is. Then, suppliers. An important factor in the microenvironment is suppliers as well. Who are suppliers? Those who supply raw materials and components or machines to the company. The suppliers, they have to be reliable and they should act as business partners. They have to act in coordination to fulfill the ultimate consumer expectations. If your suppliers are reliable, so there is no need to keep heavy inventory stocks, which actually increases the risk of obsolescence, damage, and if it actually blocks your working capital of the company as well. So in the case you have reliable suppliers, you can act with lesser working capital and with higher margins. Now we come to macro environment. The macro environment is the larger, uncontrollable environment consisting of societal forces that affect all other environments. So they offer tremendous opportunities for any business, and they present at the same time the threats also, which can harm the business in a big way. So this environment, it becomes crucially important to understand and study the purpose of strategic planning and decision making. Once you know your environment well, then only you can make strategies, right? So the broader dimensions that micro environment has is the macro environment. It consists of individuals, the groups, the agencies, the events taking place around you, the conditions and forces which the organizations comes into frequent contact in the course of its functioning. So the macro environment is actually the real environmental factor that influences the growth and structure of any business to the highest degree. What it is made up of? So, for example, the COVID, so that has been an event or a condition which has actually come in the macro environment of the companies, and it has affected their profits, positively or negatively. So the medical equipment companies, or the network companies, or something related to social media, everything is boomed in this time, whereas the other industries, so the basic industries, the food, clothing, have boomed, but the luxury companies have taken a hit in this condition, right? So that has been the macro environment of a company. The first environment is socio-cultural environment. Now this consists of the society and culture of a place where the organization is doing its business. It is general entity and influences almost all firms in a similar manner. Some of the important factors and influences operating in the social environment are buying and consumption habits of people, their languages, their beliefs, their values, their customs and traditions, their tastes and preferences, their education level, and all factors that affect the business. So, what are these factors? We have enumerated here demographic characteristics. Demographic, what is demographic? The population, its density and distribution. Then there are social concerns such as role of business in the society. Then social attitudes and values as the expectations of the society from business. Then what kind of family structures the country has, the education levels, the awareness and work ethics, the belief and value systems, and the local festivals also play an important role, right? So that is the socio-cultural environment which affects a company. Then political environment. The political environment, it consists of factors related to the management of public affairs and their impact on the business of an organization. Political environment has a close relationship with the economic system and economic policies. For example, communist countries have a centrally planned economic system. In most countries, apart from those laws that control investment and related matters, there are a number of laws that regulate the conduct of the business. These laws cover such matters as standard of the product, packaging, or the promotion. So, some of the political environments are the general state of political development, the degree of politicization of business and economic issues, how the business is impacting the politics and vice versa, the level of political morality, the law and order situation, the political stability, are the governments changing, what is the people's belief in the political system, then political ideologies and practices of the ruling party. If the ruling party is talking about swadeshi, made in India, then being in a business of importing foreign goods can become a challenge for you, right? Then economic environment. The economic environment consists of macro level patterns related to the areas of production and distribution of wealth that have an impact on the business of an organization. One of the important factors and influences operating in economic environment are economic stages existing at a given time in country. What kind of economic stage you are, in a boom or a depression, or what kind of economic stage is going on. So the economic structure adopted, such as capitalistic structure, is there socialistic, or it's at a mixed economy, it or it is what kind of economic structure is there. Then economic planning, such as what are 5-year plans, what are the annual budgets, what are the economic policies like monetary and fiscal policies, what are industrial policies, taxation policies. Then economic indices like how good is the national income, what has been the distribution of income, rate of growth and growth of gross national product, what is the per capita income, how much is the disposable personal income, then what are the rate of savings and investments, what is the value of imports and exports, and what is the situation of balance of payments. And then also the infrastructural factors like financial institutions, how robust they are, how stable the banks are, what are the modes of transportation, what is the communication facility is there or not, what are the energy sources they are using. So even that has an impact on the organization in macro environment. Then regulatory environment. What is the regulatory environment? The laws, the government laws, legal restrictions. So the regulatory environment, it consists of factors related to the planning, promotion, and regulation of economic activities by the government, and that have an impact on the business of the organization. What are important factors that influences operating in the regulatory environment? They are as follows. The first is the constitutional framework, directives, principles, fundamental rights, and distribution of legislative power between central and state government. Then we have policies relating to licensing, monopolies, foreign investment, finance of industries. Then policies relating to distribution and pricing. So, what is the ease of getting licenses? Is there a lot of red tapeism? What are the policies related to imports and exports? What are the restrictions? Are the restrictions very strong? Then other policies related to public sector or small scale industries. Then development of backward areas, control of environment pollution, customer protection, how strong is the customer protection tribunal. Then business and industry operates within a regulatory environment, the relationship between industry and the regulatory environment. And whether it is a two-way process or not, the government lays down the policies, procedures, and rules according to which the industry functions, and you have to keep a close tab on that as a company. And then there are a number of administrative controls over business that are exercised through regulatory mechanism, and this actually constitutes the entire regulatory environment for a business. Then technological environment. So the technological environment consists of those factors related to knowledge applied and the materials and machines used in the production of goods and services that have an impact on the business of the organization. So technology is the technical know-how, and how are you applying it on the materials and machines and on the production processes. Now, for many enterprises, technology is the most dynamic of all environmental factors because it is changing every day. IT companies, technology is a major has a major role. So, an individual firm is concerned with its product and process technology. Now, this environment consists of those factors that involve any type of technological advancement or lack of the same. What are the various factors? The first is source of technology, like company source, external source, or foreign sources. So if you have to resort to foreign resources, then it is going to be expensive. If you have in-house resources, that means you are doing the R&D. If there are external resources, then you are buying the technology from outer sources. Then second is technological development. What kind of stage of development change is there? What is the rate of change of technology in which you are? If your product is very susceptible to technological changes, then you have to be on your toes and you have to be spending on the research and development all the time. like if you're into software business or app building in on mobiles, or in fact the telecommunication phones. So every day technology is changing, new things are coming, and hence you have to be on your toes, right? Then impact of technology on human beings, the man and machine system, the environmental effects of technology also you have to consider. Then communication and infrastructure technology and technology in management. And you have to be really wary about technological obsolescence as well. If we talk about India, we find that state of technological development, it varies from different sectors of the industry, right? So generally it is felt that technological aspect of competition varies with the customer needs and government policy. Technology is often used as strategic weapon by companies operating in highly competitive environment. If you have got a technology, let us say, which actually decreases your production time and production costs drastically, then you become very competitive in the market by offering lower costs. And if it is a price sensitive market, you are going to gain from it, right? Or you technologically you have developed a product which you have differentiated completely, and rather than red ocean, you are now in the blue ocean, right? So it can come as a blue ocean strategy. What is a blue ocean strategy? Where you differentiate product in a manner that you don't have competition there, whereas red ocean strategy means that you have ample competition in those waters, right? So technological environment is important. Then demographic environment. This environment deals with the composition and characteristics of the population of a place. All the relevant descriptions of the population of a place with respect to its demographic profile will affect business decisions drastically. It would be in the interest of any firm to consider these aspects in detail before planning the strategy. What are those? Average size of family, size of population, educational levels, economic stratification of the population, stratas, right? In the stratas, the economy has been divided. Then job profiles, what are the income levels of the population? What is the sex ratio? How many males and females are there? Then what is the life expectancy? Japan has highest life expectancy. Then religion, caste and customs and traditions. Then what is the mobility of the population? Are they mobile? These are the references. Thank you for listening.